The global population is becoming increasingly connected, with every individual playing a key role on the global stage. From social networking sites to ease of international travel, people are increasingly engaging with others around the world. Because of this, social practices have been greatly altered to provide for a more globalized population. Social networking is a specific facet of global connectedness that has changed the face of social practices around the world. We are no longer limited to our locale, but can now converse instantaneously with someone across the world. For example, 15 years ago I would have had to wait weeks to hear from my pen pal in Tokyo, resulting in fragmented and sometimes irrelevant conversation. Today, I just turn on my computer and Skype with him, allowing us to visually and audibly communicate instantaneously. This serves as just one example of the increased influence of global connectedness on social practices. Global connectedness greatly affects cultural politics. As populations from around the world engage with one another, cultural backgrounds play an important role in political relations. From a historical discipline, we see that throughout the ages, an increase in global connectedness results in an increase in cultural politics, as different cultures work together for reform and mutual understanding. From an anthropological discipline, we see that cultural politics are also affected by global connectedness, as the interplay of religion, family, and human evolution takes center stage in policymaking. This relationship between globalization and cultural politics has resulted in major social changes in the global society. With such an engaged global community, what would once have been considered to be a national issue becomes a global issue with just the click of a button. The global society often utilizes social networking platforms like Twitter or Facebook to mobilize and create major social change. This has become increasingly practiced with the traditionally diplomatic issue of state secession. The Ukraine, Catalonia, and Scotland are just a few recent examples of countries that have mobilized support or opposition to their independence via global networking. With such a connected global population, governments are increasingly influenced not only by their own constituents, but by public opinion worldwide. My discipline of study is foreign language instruction. It's a field of linguistics, which is a subdiscipline of humanities. So global connectedness has a huge influence on the linguistic field of humanities because there are thousands of spoken languages in the world. So if there's an increase in global connectedness, that necessitates an increase in language education. Because of this, foreign language instructors have seen an increase in demand as people around the globe strive to understand and communicate with one another. As a result, global connectedness has largely shaped the promotion of linguistic diversity. Global connectedness and cultural politics greatly affect national identity. Nations strive to embrace other cultures while at the same time maintaining their own unique culture. If approached through the political science discipline, we see that global connectedness greatly affects the interaction between international governments. In government systems throughout the world, the political left often encourages cultural diversity, while the political right often pushes for strengthening national identity, often leading to political tension. Some who work in the philosophical discipline suggest that this push for national identity can be said to be rooted in an individual's belief in one's own identity. So in other words, national identity and personal identity are intimately intertwined, so loss of one leads to the loss of the other. As a result, people are left looking for a rational solution to balance global connectedness and national identity. So there are both advantages and disadvantages of global connectedness. Some advantages include increases in education, employment, and communication. Access to quality education helps stamp out the ignorance that leads to human rights abuses. Increased employment allows for once impoverished nations to raise their standard of living and compete on the world market. And increases in communication allow members of the global community to collaborate and understand each other. Disadvantages include the loss of national identity, income disparity, and environmental degradation. So traditional culture often takes a back seat when countries are incorporating foreign and often dominant cultures, leading to a loss of national identity. Increases in foreign investment and manufacturing may create more jobs, but it also continues to put money in the pockets of the rich while exploiting the poor. And environmental degradation occurs when nations strive to compete on the global market and essentially end up trading their beautiful natural resources and healthy landscape for money, economic opportunity, and a veritable factory wasteland. So, as we can see, global connectedness is a sticky situation in which great benefits are counterbalanced by some pretty serious disadvantages. It's just up to the world and population to find a rational solution to balance the good and the bad.